Hey everybody, what's up? Neal Walter here from the Guitar Tricks channel, coming your way. Catch us on guitartricks.com/channel and get 2 free lessons to your inbox every week if you're not watching this on Guitar Tricks. On our tip of the week, record yourself. Yes, you'd be amazed at how far you progress if you're practicing. Record yourself now and then listen back in a few months compared to where you are then. Also, in a year, you'd be surprised how much progress you make. Also, the tape doesn't lie, so it'll tell you how you really sound, because it's easy to get caught up in jamming at home or playing with a song, which kind of masks your mistakes, or playing with a lot of effects, which does the same. So if you record yourself, you really hear how it sounds, and that will help you improve. On to our lesson of the week. I got a really killer soulful blues lick for you that you can use as a beginning to intermediate guitar player at a jam, blues jam, to make you sound really smoking, just using these 2 parts of these licks right here. And there's a lot of cool things within these licks that I'm going to teach you in this lesson, so let's get on with that. It's in the key of G minor, and I'll be playing in the 8th position, and then also in the 11th position. I'll be using bits of 2 scale patterns from the minor blues pentatonic scale, and the lick goes something like this. So what you have going on here is a call and answer thing, which is a really old technique for blues, which is lend itself to country and rock as well. So the the first part is, and then the answer to that, which has a resolution at the end, is, and it ends on the G, which is the tonic of the scale, which gives it that nice resolution. You can do a couple little variations of these licks too to change them up if you're using them repetitively, so they sound slightly different, because most blues is classic licks that are just changed a little bit in this way or that way. And thing I always preach is that the real key to great sounding blues licks is in your vibrato. And there's another key thing that I'm going to teach you in a minute. But for right now, we're starting with a bend at the 11th fret of the B string. And I'm using 3 fingers here to back it up because it's kind of a hard bend. I've got 10s on these strings, so it's a little bit of a struggle. We're aiming for this note, but we don't want to quite get there, and that's what gives it that blues sound, kind of that tension, that anticipation. Bending up to it. So when I bend up, when I get to the top of the note, I kind of stop it, dampen it with my right hand a little bit, and then land on the 11th fret, add a little vibrato, and then drop down to the G. Those 2 notes. A little vibrato there, a little more aggressive. And then that's a bend up about halfway to the C note here, and then a stop, dampening with my right hand. So. That's the first part of the lick, the call. Here's the answer. Up to the 13th fret, I'll be playing out of this pattern. Actually, a good way to think about it is that mechanically these 2 parts of the lick are almost the same, so there's not much difference there. It makes it easier to do the other lick. So the second half, the answer, goes a little something like this. So that's another similar bend up. It's the minor third of the G, gives it that nice bluesy sound. Now, here's the other important thing that I said I was going to teach you. When thinking about blues phrasing or playing any kind of lead in general, the best blues lead sounds from the old blues guys, they were imitating what the vocalist was doing. So there's this real soulful, melodic, kind of singing quality going on to blues leads, and that's what's going on here. So when you're learning to play lead, especially blues and rock and country, one thing to remember is that it's not just about these scales or these notes, because I get a lot of questions that, hey, I've learned these scales, I don't know what to do now, I'm kind of stuck, I've learned these lead patterns, now what? You know, my leads all sound the same. So when you're thinking about what notes you're going to choose, you also want to think about the overall phrasing of these little sections, like I have a call and I have an answer. And if you think about it in a vocal sense, you have real vocal melodic sounding thing. So when you're picking notes, keep that in mind. Also here. I heard Santana say that when he's playing leads, he's thinking about talking with his guitar. So if you're stuck with leads and scales, think about it in a vocal sense where your notes are singing or your notes are talking. And you might be the only one who knows this is going on as you pick your notes, but you'll definitely hear a difference. And if you use the tip of the week and record yourself, try recording one of your favorite licks regular and then think about it in a singing sense and see if you hear the difference. So along those lines, a couple of differences you can use to make this sound cool is the second time you play these two licks, when you go to back to the first lick, instead of bending here, bend here. What that does is it picks up the major sound of the 4 chord, which is going on when it goes to the C. So that'll give it a little extra flair. And then following that, when you go up to the second part of the lick, I was playing it like this. Instead, you could go like this, change a couple notes. So go, instead of, and those slight changes are just like slight little vocal variations. And people will notice that there's something different going on, and that's where your subtlety, your finesse comes in your guitar playing. So the turnaround lick, when it goes to the 5 chord in the progression, bend up at the 13th fret a whole step, put your pinky down on the E string, so it's a release bend, pull off, add vibrato, and then that bend up and stop again. It's kind of that vocal quality. Da, 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 da. That rounds out your lick. Now let's play along with the backing track to hear how it really sounds with a full band. Remember, your first note comes in on the 2 beat. So you can hear the count off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bam! That's when you come in. So remember, get vocal with your guitar phrasing. Think about the human vocal sound as you're selecting your notes, and it'll really help you along. Remember, the killer vibrato really sounds bluesy. Thanks for tuning on this weekend. Leave me requests. Tune on in to Facebook and Twitter, YouTube, and Guitar Tricks Forum, and leave me a request because I want to know what you want to know. That's what keeps me going. Have a rockin' week. Later.